No, we had a call before this. You're okay.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
yeah, there's a call before this for people that have high production numbers.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll show you guys. I'll actually tell you what it takes to get on that call really quick because I want to have more people on the call. So every Monday at 7:30, guys, we do a call. I just call it the Redeemers call. It's just a coaching call for our top producing people. I'm trying to find the requirements really quick. Hang on one second. I'll tell you. There they are. Okay. So currently, this will probably be changing, hopefully this month, maybe next month. But so the requirements for you to get on that call, you need to have one of the following things. Okay. So I don't care which one. You either need to do 2 recruits and 2,000 in sales personal. Okay, 2 recruits or 2 recruits and 2,000 in sales personal. 5 direct recruits, so personal recruits to you specifically. You have to have $3,000 in personal cash flow, so you need to make $3,000. I don't care how, or don't care where it comes from. You do 5,000 in personal sales, or do 10 recruits and 10,000 in premium on your own, or on your whole team. So maybe you're not a big producer, but you got a bunch of people that are on your team that are doing stuff. Perfect. That's fine. All right. So guys, I want to talk about 2 things real quick. I don't know if any of you all had, no, none of you guys did. Oh my goodness. Okay. So we're going to talk about this story. It's, Ian shared it once on a full timers call and it was super impactful to me. And so we're going to talk about, he called it Little Ovi because that was the guy's name that he was picking on, not picking on, but he was using as an example. But I know this story in my head. It says the Little Ovi story and I'll never forget hearing it. So how many of y'all have kids? Just type me in the Zoom chat if you got kids. Specifically, if you had kids that are little or you have kids that are currently little, like I'd say like under 5 or 6. Okay, so this will make a ton of sense for you guys. And if you don't, like, think about like your niece, your family, things, like some little kids, right? So my kids are a really good example of this. Like yesterday, my son, he wanted to go to the underground park and he was like crying about it. There's like a park in our neighborhood. You got to go under the road to get there. It's pretty cool.
It's not actually underground.
Yeah, it's not an underground park. You just got to go under a bridge, but it looks like it's a tunnels anyway. So he wanted to go to the underground park, right? And I told him yesterday, there was by the time he asked, there was no way we were going to be able to get there. So I said, hey, we'll go tomorrow. And so here's the reality, guys. Like your kids are waiting for, like, they want you to keep your word, right? And so the Little Ovi story is similar to that. So how many of you guys have told yourself at one point in time, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do something that you need to do, right? But you've been blowing it off for years, or every time you commit to doing it, it doesn't happen, right? And you don't have to raise your hand or put me in the Zoom chat. You don't have to admit to that out loud if you don't want to. You're welcome to this accountability group, right? No worries. But guys, the reality is every time you say you're going to do something and you don't do it, your belief in yourself goes down, right? So think about your kids. So like with my son, Axel, he wants to go to the park, right? So he wants to go to the park. And I said, hey, yesterday, I said, tomorrow we'll go, I promise. So I have to take him to the park today at some point in time, right? Why? Because if I don't, what happens, Janava, is I lose credibility with my son, right? And even though he's 3 and he might forget, and maybe I don't, but if I do that enough times, what happens is he doesn't believe that I'm really going to take him to the park, right? Over time. And so, guys, our subconscious is the little kid in our lives. Like we say, hey, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to grow a business. Today I'm going to set 5 appointments, right? Today I'm going to study. Today I'm going to do this. Today I'm going to do the things that you need to be doing, but you're not, right? And every time you tell yourself, hey, I'm going to do this, and you don't do it, you lose your credibility with yourself. Right? We talk about this a lot with new people. Like your credibility is very important. Your coachability and your credibility are the 2 biggest things that move you in Primerica. And so, like, think about this, guys. Like if you have a kid and you get home from work and your kid comes up to you and says, hey, Dad, I want to go to the park. Hey, Mom, I want to go to the park. right? And you say, hey, after dinner, we'll go to the park, right? Then dinner rolls around and you finish eating, you go lay on the couch, you go start working in the garage, whatever it is. And your kid comes up to you and says, Caleb, take me to the park, right? And you're like, after I'm done this, we'll go to the park, right? And then you finally finish that and you come inside and you go wash your hands, you go sit on the chair because you're tired or whatever. And he's like, Dad, can we go? You finished now. Can we go to the park? And you're like, in a minute, after this episode of whatever, or after I finish this thing, or after your bath or whatever. Then he gets out of his bath and comes and says, Dad, can you take me to the park? And you're like, well, we'll do it tomorrow, right? Well, it's too late. It's bedtime. We'll go tomorrow, right? And then what happens is tomorrow we go to school. He's super excited. When we get home from school, we're going to go to the park, buddy. I promise. You get home from work and it's that same song and dance routine over and over again, right? And the reality is it's hard. I'll be honest. It's freaking difficult for me to cut an hour out of my schedule to go to the park with my kids. Like I love doing it and it's fun once we're there, but in my head, it's like, what? Yeah, and my wife, right? And she's like, Taylor said, you also have a wife, correct? It's hard for me to cut that time out of my schedule, but it's important, right? And if you are going to tell me that you can't set 3 appointments a day and study for 30 minutes and not do everything else that you need to do for your other job and your family, you're crazy. Because I do this full time. And I still have a great relationship with my wife. We still have a good relationship with our kids. Like we're building friendships. And yes, we're doing this full time, but we're producing at a very high level, one of the top 10 in the company. And the reason I'm sharing that with you guys is because I just made a decision in December to go and win, guys. And that's just that's the bottom line. And like, how many times have you told yourself, this is it, this is my month, right? 2023 is my year. I'm going to lose all my weight in 2023. You said in 2022, you were going to lose 100 pounds and you got 130 to go, right? Like it's because we don't keep ourselves consistent. We don't keep ourselves, we don't stick to our word to ourselves. We will tell everybody else we're going to do all these other things for them, but we don't stick true to who we are and what we say we are going to do. And so I really want to challenge you today and say, what are the things that you have told yourself that you're going to do that you have not done? And what do you need to move in your life to do those things? What are some things that you can cut out of your life that are distractions from you, that keep you from keeping up and keeping your word to the little version of yourself? Right? What are the things that you're telling yourself you're going to do that you're not doing because you don't keep that commitment to yourself? Right? Are you distracted with video games? Are you on your phone too much? Are you distracted with watching TV or whatever it is? Like, what are the things that are keeping you from being where you need to go? And then cut those things out of your life, or at least drastically reduce them. Guys, like for the last 6 months, like I haven't touched a video game until the other day when I bought Mario, and then that's all I've been doing. And so I decided I'm not gonna.
I'm the one that hunted down all the
Yeah,
pieces.
Taylor hunted down all the pieces too, because I was like, for whatever reason, I was like dying to play some video games. I don't know why. I couldn't explain it to you, but it was just
better to
something.
find the pieces than buy a TV.
Right. It was something I wanted to do. But I also just finished a 90-day run and I'm back on that today.
You deserve it.
Right. And I've worked hard, and that was my reward for finishing what I did, was just taking a weekend and just kind of doing whatever, not closing business. I still closed Saturday, closed 2 things. Yesterday, I closed business. I will close today too. Not taking the day off and not working, right? But giving myself the ability to just chill for 2 or 3 days and just relax and recharge. And we're back today at day number 1 of a 90-day run. So what are the things that you need to cut out of your life? Right? That might hurt some of you. You might look at that and be like, yeah, I got to cut out video game time. I got to cut out going to the bar with my friends. I don't need to be a part of 7 book studies, like, these different things like that. Like, and I'm just being real with you. Like, you can keep doing that stuff if you want to, but here's the reality. You're going to keep being exactly where you are. Right? Because you right now, your life that you're living is a perfect result of all of the choices that you've made up until this point. Right? I'm sorry, some of y'all don't like that at all. I can see it all over your faces. You're like, that's mean. It's not mean, it's true, right? Where you are currently is a result of all of the choices that you've made in your life up until right now. It's a perfect result of everything you've decided to do up until right now. It couldn't be more accurate, right? Am I wrong? Like, can we look back at our life and say, oh, that decision landed me here, that relationship put me in this position? Like, you're like, oh crap, like he's right. Yes, I know I'm right. This was a really freaking hard truth that I had to come up with when we first started the business, right? And not come up with, but that I had to recognize. So here's the cool thing. You got yourself where you are right now. Are you going to get yourself out? Are you going to make decisions that are different than what you made to get there? Right? Maybe that means we sacrifice some things. Right? Maybe that means we bet on ourselves and we come down, we go to the Tampa Bay Leadership School, even though we can't, it's busy, schedule, whatever, like money's tight, whatever the reason is. Maybe we say, hey, you know what? I'm going to adjust some things and I'm going to go because I need to be in that environment. Maybe we're like, hey, I need to like get better as a person. I need to work out more. I need to become more truthful, more honest. I can't tell you what it is that you need to work on, but I can tell you that not making adjustments will not make you better, right? You have to make decisions to get better. And so you are that little person, you are the little kid in your life to your subconscious, right? Or the other way around, sorry, your subconscious is that little kid that's like going to stop asking you to go do something big eventually. Why? Because you keep saying we're going to do it and then you don't. And you got to make that decision to go and fight for what's important to you. Okay. The second thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is if you're licensed, I mean, I guess you could do this if you're not licensed, but you need to definitely get licensed ASAP. Is that 90-day run group. Today is the day that we start that. And so what you need to do every day to be a part of that 90-day run group, you need to send out 50 direct messages. You need to send out 50 friend requests. I don't care if you do it on Instagram, doesn't matter to me. I don't care where you send your messages, but 50 messages, 50 friend requests, 10 calls. You need to do 1 post on social media with your face involved, not a meme. That doesn't count. But you can do 1 a week of like a financial tip if you want to, but you need to post pictures of you so you can build trust in your market. And then I would say you need to set a minimum of 3 to 5 appointments every day. And I'm going to hold you accountable. And if you want to be in that group, text me on Telegram. If you're on Telegram, you can just go find me and send me a message and say, I want to be in the group. I will add you to the group, but I will also kick you out immediately if you're not doing the things that you need to be doing. Okay. Like I'm going to hold you accountable. That is going to be a whole nother level of accountability that some of you say you want. And when you get it, you're going to be like, I don't like this. This is not nice. Like, it's like a job now all of a sudden, right? And I'm just gonna be real with you. Like, some of y'all need to treat this like a freaking job. Like, you need to show up and do the things that you need to do. You need to carve your time out. You need to make it a priority, because you make a priority for the thing that's paying you 30 grand a year and keeping you stuck and depressed. But you won't take intentionality and put focus and attention here to the one thing that could potentially get you out of that, right? And so if that's the case, we need to rearrange things in our life to make this the priority. So for some of you guys, that means, hey, I got to send some messages every day. I got to carve out 45 minutes a day to do my 5 daily disciplines that I have to do every day. For some of you guys, it means, hey, I'm happy with where I'm at right now. I feel like I'm making progress, but what do I need to do to go to the next level? Right, guys? You should, I'm going to post that link to the May event later today, and buy a ticket and come. I promise you, like it makes a difference. So guys, those are the 2 main things I wanted to talk about. If you want to be in that 90-day group, message me on Telegram. If you don't want to be in the group, that's fine. I'm not going to judge you or think any differently of you. If you don't want to be in the group, that's completely your choice. Totally fine. I'm not gonna be mad at you, I promise. But if you want to be in that group, message me. And don't message me because you think that's what I want you to do. Message me because you actually want to be there and you actually want to be held accountable and you actually want to grow. And we'll do that. So the last thing I wanted to talk about was, what do you need to do after you recruit somebody? So after I recruit, now what? Right? So that's something that I think we are not doing the best at. And I'm going to put these times in my calendar right now. And I want you guys to write these down. So barring any traveling where I'm unable to run an appointment because I am in the sky or driving in a rental vehicle or something of that nature in transportation, our orientations will be on the following times, okay? Monday at 7 p.m. Monday at 7 p.m. Wednesday at 3 p.m. And then Friday at 5. All right, so that's going to be our standing orientations right now. So Monday at 7, these are all Eastern time. Monday at 7, Wednesday at 3, Friday at 5 p.m. All right, so I will, if we recruit enough people during the week, I'll throw an extra one on the weekend. Okay, but that'll be like an optional, like kind of depending on my weekend and what's going on. Maybe we'll do that, maybe we won't. But the standing ones that are for sure going to happen are Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday at 7, Wednesday at 3, Friday at 5. So after you recruit somebody, this is what you need to do. Number 1, aside from getting them into licensing and all the other stuff, getting them into their app and things like that we already talked about, okay? You need to do 2 things, very important. Number 1, you need to schedule orientation. Which one are they going to, and get a commitment from them. Hey, Caleb, super excited for you. We have orientation. Our next orientation is Wednesday at 3. Does that work for you? No? Okay, the next one is Friday at 5. Does that one work for you? No? Great. You and I are going to meet. When is good for you to tomorrow or the next day for you and I to meet to do an orientation one-on-one? If they cannot get scheduled on the next 2 orientations, you have to meet with them and give it to them. Okay, or get your trainer to meet with them and give it to them. Okay, so if Caleb can't meet on Wednesday and he can't make the one on Friday either, awesome. Caleb, what's good for you on Tuesday? What time Tuesday or Wednesday can you meet? And I'll do an orientation with you one-on-one. What's the best time? And he says 4 o'clock tomorrow. Great. So I schedule that. Okay, so I schedule the orientation, and then I'm also going to schedule his FNA on the call. Right? So Caleb, I want to meet with you and show you what we do, show you how the financial process, we get people out of debt, help them invest, all that type of stuff. It takes like 15 minutes. It's not invasive at all. What is a good time for you to get together and do that financial needs analysis separate from the orientation? And then he'll tell me a time and we'll do that. Okay. So here's what we need to do, guys. You need to recruit them, get them into licensing, get them into Telegram, POL, all that stuff, schedule their orientation. And then you schedule an FNA with them, because if somebody's going to be working with us, guys, they need to see what it looks like to be a client. That doesn't mean they need to be a client. It means they need to see what it looks like, right? They work with their investments, look at the projections. What type of funds are they in? How can we maximize it for them? If they don't want to move their money over, that's totally fine. But they need to see what it looks like, because guys, we wouldn't have the best rated mutual funds for the last 2 decades consecutively if it wasn't the best, right? Like we wouldn't be getting awards for it. We wouldn't have the best life insurance awards from Forbes and Market Watch and a couple other companies if we weren't the best, right? So I don't care who you are, what you got, where your money is sitting. If it's not in a Primerica account or your life insurance isn't with a Primerica account, if you're coming into the business, I'm going to show you how I can put you in a better situation, right? Because it's just true. It's a fact, right? So I'm going to show it to them and I'm going to walk them through it. And so guys, you need to, on your recruit calls, you schedule the orientation, you schedule the financial needs analysis, guys. And if somebody doesn't want to get the financial needs analysis done, God bless them. Like, I'm going to be real with you. I've not one person that's making money in our business is not also a client and also looked at the FNA themselves. Okay. So take that for what you want. Like, if you're like, dude, I don't want you to look at my investments. It's not relevant. No, it's completely relevant, because you should see what it looks like for you to be a client and see what your clients are going to be doing when they come in and work with us. It's 100% relevant, right? And that's your conviction level. Are you convicted that that's the truth or not? And if you're not, that's fine, but why? And you need to talk to your trainer about why, and we need to fix that, because guys, I can tell you that I have never run into a life insurance policy that a Primerica policy wasn't better than. I've never run into an investment account that I couldn't put into the Morningstar hypothetical, the trend reports, and see that we could make it better. I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm just saying that I've never seen one personally. So that's all, guys. I want to make sure that you're doing that. So there's kind of two completely opposite spectrums. One was the mindset thing, right? What are you telling yourself that you're not being consistent with, that you're not showing up for, that you're telling yourself you're going to lose weight, you're telling yourself you're going to build the business, you're telling yourself you're going to study, and you're not doing that, right? What is the thing that you're not showing up for? 90-day run group. I got one message so far from somebody that wants to join that's not already in that. And there's those 50 messages, 50 friend requests, 10 calls, 1 post on social, 3 to 5 appointments set every day. Guys, I promise you that if you do that 90-day run, you'll make money. You'll make money in the next 90 days, period. Even if you're not licensed yet, but you want to do it. But don't tell me you're going to do it and not do it. Okay. Because again, you can only lie to yourself so much before you just don't believe yourself anymore. And then last but not least, after you recruit somebody, get them on the schedule for an orientation and meet with them and schedule their FNA. If they can do the FNA on the spot, go for it. While they're there on the call, if you have time, do it. Like if they have time and you have time, I would do it right there, because that's going to show them immediately what it looks like. But otherwise, schedule it. It's very important that you do the financial needs analysis with them, because that's where they're going to see it and believe in what we're doing. So, all right, guys, any questions? I'll take a couple minutes of questions if anybody's got a question real quick. Otherwise, y'all are free to hop off. I would do them. Yeah, my mom's right there, and you guys probably can't hear, but she said the mobile, like the short FNA or the regular FNA. I would personally do the mobile FNA. It's really easy. Like, you don't need to be any sort of rocket science to fill out the mobile FNA. It's super easy.
Because the other one has all their debt.
Yeah, the mobile FNA is just investments and insurance. That's really the main thing it is. The reality is, if they're in debt, they should pay the minimums on everything and pay more on one thing and get rid of it. That's going to put them in a better situation, but you can break their debt down in the actual FNA a little bit better. Any other questions, guys? I'm looking in the chat right now.